Hello, I'm Jamie Gaskin. I am part of the Connect, Create and Eat group being held at Studio Below for Make It Right. It's being funded by the National Lottery, and it's an opportunity for older people, of which I am, to come together to still be creative and to socialize and to help spur us on to do things of a creative nature. I've written several pieces with them as well as discussed, and we've done lots of input to help each other. My piece that I have chosen features on my late wife. It is called Return to Poland. I was well aware of the casual promise I had made many years earlier to my wife's request. If anything happens to me, please look after Mum and Dad. It was now relevant, as my wife had been taken only a few weeks after her mother had died. Dad, who was wobbly at the best of times, had taken a fall at the time of his wife's death and was in a home over the Pennines specialising in Polish expats. My wife Grażyna's parents had settled in Huddersfield after World War II, like many Poles, not keen on Stalin's rule. Indeed, my father-in-law Henrik had been in a Russian labour camp briefly when the Russians swept through his part of Poland. Henrik had always said he wanted to return to Poland if he was on his own. Most of his family, unlike mum-in-law's, were still over there. Several cousins and others from my mum-in-law's family were prominent members of the Huddersfield Polish community, centred on their own church. They had two other daughters, but they lived in South Africa and could only visit at the time of the funerals briefly. Like many journeys, it started with a lot of admin. First, I had to be made Henrik's attorney to pay for the home and arrange his bank affairs. The house had to be sold. I had help from the cousins with meter readings, etc., so kept my trips over the Pennines to a minimum. Fortunately, close neighbours from the Asian community were keen to buy the house for relatives. They were happy to take on the very indifferent furniture. Father struck a deal with the neighbour at his bedside. The visiting daughters, having got rid of most of the accumulative junk, I was left to see it through. Then there were the agreements to ensure his pension and other matters continued in the then European market. It wasn't so much a form as a booklet that would not have been out of place in hardback. There were some squabbles about who should do his will. The older daughter, not keen on my involvement. Dad was strong-armed into her taking over this task, although he was visibly upset, declaring me as the son he'd never had. Once the daughters had departed, it was up to me to sort out the arrangements with his Polish family. Sensibly, he had chosen a couple who ran a care home where he could stay, and the husband was a doctor. As a keen armchair sportsman, Dad was going to need Sky TV fitted into his room. That was arranged. The Polish family's son would take Henrik home, but Henrik insisted, not sure why, that I take the party to Doncaster Airport to see him off. Henrik was shortly to be 90, and his elder daughter, the difficult one, insisted he celebrate it several weeks ahead of the proper date, simply as she would be in Europe at the time, and it would be more convenient for her. I flew over for the event. The family made me very welcome. Henrik was happy, and I was moved to see pictures of his wife and my late wife Grażyna on prominent display. Henrik made it to his official 90th birthday, but passed away not long after. He had returned to Poland as he wished. I had kept my word. The daughters made the funeral arrangements in the family grave where his wife's ashes had been taken. Time to say goodbye all at once to three people who had journeyed with me for the past 30 years.